Hello and welcome back to the channel, folks. HeirofCarthage here, and we are at the Battle of Navisos, and this is going to be another Sub-Commanders battle, courtesy of Sol Invictus, and thank you to all those who are playing with them here. So remember, in Sub-Commanders, it's going to be kind of a split of responsibilities amongst a team. You kind of have like a spear and skirmisher player, a kind of more melee-centric infantry player, and then you're going to have a cavalry player, and there's a little bit of spend that's allowed for, skirmishers. I think most of that falls to the spear and skirmisher player, though I could be wrong. Some of it may be split in with the melee player. I don't remember exactly how it works. And of course, then you have a cavalry player. So we're going to see this team match up. This one is going to be Suebi, Tylus, and Saba all teaming up, and we're going to see Camel Lancers. We've got the Royal Camel Archers for the general. More Camel Archers. Yeah, 3 Royal Camel Archers, and then some Camel Lancers. And then infantry and skirmish-wise, let's take a look at the rest of this army. Germanic Slingers up front. Remember, these guys have massive shield block chances, so very good at skirmishing, and should be really good at this price point. We've got Spear Levy backing them up. And then for the Germanic General, they are in a Wodenaz Spear. I love that pick, a medium but very competent spear unit in the right situations. And then for Tylus, let's see, we got an Oathsworn General. And then it looks like a couple of tribal warriors, and then some Gallo-Thracian infantry. Gallo-Thracian infantry, really not bad, and there's Thracian warriors mixed in there as well. The Gallo-Thracian infantry is decent, kind of lighter swordsmen, so interesting picks there. Should be a fun army. And then on the other side we got Rome, Sparta, and it looks like Parthia teaming up. So Parthia is providing the cavalry. We've got a couple of Parthian horse archers out here. These are dangerous horse archers. Really good damage. It looks like there's more maybe hidden over there. An Eastern Cataphract. We can't see the Parthian general at the moment. We've got a Royal Spartan leading the way for Sparta. It looks like Sparta is pulling the skirmisher and spear duty. They've got some Perioikoi spears helping to guard some Helot slingers. And then Helot archers. It looks like there's at least 2 more of those. Maybe a third hiding in that scrub. We shall see. And then Rome, yep, looks like it is. With Rome here, a general and bodyguard. And let's check out the infantry. We got legionaries, Histadi, more legionaries and Histadi. So it looks like veteran legionaries over there. So it should be a pretty competent infantry corps from Rome. And if we match that up against the infantry corps over here, the Tylus infantry would do better on the charge. The Roman infantry would be better in a grind. As is typical for those. And then from a skirmish standpoint, the Germanic Slingers have tremendous block chance, and despite being outnumbered pretty heavily, I'm curious to see how this goes, because their block chance is just incredibly good. We're going to need to see Parthia maybe use some cavalry to try and break up that stalemate, though they'll have to be careful because these Camel Archers here can cause some damage with their arrows. However, at the moment they're focused on the Parthian Horse Archers, so that could open up a window. So we'll see. We got a noble horse archer here for Parthia as well. So let's just kind of watch what we get. Looks like another Parthian horse archer there. So Parthia's got plenty of mobile skirmish contingent. It looks like they're going to send a Median cavalry to pressure the Germanic Slingers, get them to turn their back. Good idea. Those units have, I mean, look, they've taken almost no damage in that initial skirmish because their shield block chance is just excellent. The Helot archers are going to struggle to get into range to help support that fight as well. Woo! Nice shot there from the Royal Camel Archers. They shredded that Parthian horse archer. Looks like all of those units have similar range, so no range advantage, but definitely an armor advantage for the Sabaean skirmish cavalry, but a speed advantage for Parthia. I don't know how much the speed advantage will add up here, but we'll see. And Parthia does have horse archers on both flanks. A longbow hunter. 2 of those hidden, so... Oof. Boy, Germania here, or Suebi, I guess, really bringing the heat from a skirmish standpoint. This is going to be a brutal skirmish line. And they're definitely doing some kind of hit and retreat tactics here. Kind of pulling their enemies in closer. What's the range on those hunters? 125, okay. Some archers have 150 range, some do not. Looks like we got a push here from the Royal Camel, the Royal Camel Archers. So Sparta's going to have to protect those skirmishers. And there is cavalry moving in, so the protection will be there. Taking down those Germanic Slingers is just going to be incredibly difficult. And if they ignore them, they're going to lose their own Helot Slingers. Ooh, the longbow hunters have opened fire now too, so Those Helot archers need to come into play to help in this fight because there's some significant overmatching here going on from the skirmish standpoint. Swaby has really brought some excellent skirmishing component here, and it is going to be difficult for the enemy to overcome, especially when guarded by all this Sabaean cavalry. And that cavalry, of course, can fire its arrows, and that's exactly what they're doing here. They're trying to contribute into the skirmish fight up front. Now we're going to see Parthia pushing forward to make its presence known, so a really nice skirmish phase developing here. Doesn't look like either team is willing to just overcommit to a melee rush at the moment. So it's good to see the patience. Sometimes the patience pays off, sometimes you lose, but remember that whenever you do a prolonged skirmish in Rome 2, it can sometimes have the benefit of using up some of the ammunition of the enemy. So these Germanic slingers may be hard to kill, but if you can get them to expend most of their ammunition, if not all of it, that's still kind of a win in a way if you're getting them to do it against targets where they don't have a great chance. Now, we are seeing Rome repositioning their infantry, and some of it's sitting here in front of the Helot slingers, which means they're going to take inadvertent fire from those Germanic slingers. Let's just see what happens. Rome may just be positioning their infantry to further guard that skirmish line from the overtures of the Sabaean cavalry there. Now, the longbow hunters would be a lot more prone to return missile fire, but they are operating further back, trying to stay out of range, I believe. Remember with archers that they do a lot more damage more quickly, especially with 40 missile damage on these longbow hunters. However, they're going to have less AP involved in that, but again, just a lot of damage overall. Typically significantly higher than slingers. The Helot archers are up here now, trying to get into range as well. We'll kind of see how that goes, because remember, their range is only 125 versus the 150. Parthia is skirmishing some camel lancers over here. It looks like the red team kind of pulling back here. Man, this is definitely going to be a prolonged and rather involved skirmish. The Royal Spartans took some shots in the back there. It's a nice call to try and pull away some of their hit points, because that is a very tough unit. I mean, between the Royal Spartans and the Roman infantry, I mean, the other team has definitely got their work cut out for them. They're going to have to get some really nice charges, or just really nice engagements to try and negate. There's really some excellent infantry on this side. That Royal Spartan is a very tough unit. And then the Legionaries and Veteran Legionaries also very good units, especially in kind of a grindy fight. It does look like Rome and Sparta may be preparing for a melee push here. But Saba's camels and stuff are not exactly in the best position at the moment. This one's going to get a side charge on some Hastati. Shouldn't be bad. And let's just see how these charges play out. We've got a Saki Hastati going into a tribal warrior. It's kind of a good way to bog that unit down and then bring in your heavy infantry. I would imagine we'll probably see the Oathsworn engaged a little bit later here. So we'll see. Let's watch this charge. We've got Spear Brothers going into Saki Hastati. Spear Brothers not going to be terrible, but I don't know if they're going to win this type of fight or not. Let's check out the Royal Spartans over here. There's a bit of a flanking maneuver here going on. Not much of a full-on cavalry engagement yet either. And in terms of full-on cavalry engagement, from a melee standpoint, you've really not got a ton of melee cavalry for the red team here. They do have some Eastern cataphracts, and they're going to need to be able to be ready to stop those Sabaean camel cataphracts. The Roman bodyguard's doing some rallying here, and let's take a look at the infantry fights to see how it's going. Doesn't look terrible for the Rome, Parthia, Sparta team here. They've got a pretty good initial push going on. There's some tribal warriors coming to reinforce the Thracian warriors coming in initially, and honestly, those Thracian warriors appear to have done some damage along with the cavalry there. Here comes the Median cavalry, followed up by Eastern cataphracts. I like how the Medians kind of take the charge and allow the Eastern cataphracts to come in with a strong counter. Let's see whether all the skirmish cavalry and skirmishers can help even up this infantry fight. Like I said, off the charge, Tylus should be pretty good. However, tribal warriors are a mostly defensive unit, and Rome has pretty good defensive stats as well as decent offensive stats as well. Not on the charge, but Afterwards, they're good. The Woden spear taking some damage from some skirmishers there. The Royal Spartans are heavily outnumbered out here. They're taking on an Oathsworn as well, so they need help, and they're just not getting it at the moment. A little worried about this flank from an infantry standpoint for the red team. And honestly, I'm not quite seeing the bruising infantry performance that I thought I would see from them. Well, we did over here on the right, so they've broken through fully. There's a Hero of Sparta over here, too, that's in good health. I'm going to be curious to see how much ammunition gets left late into this game, because with units like a Hero of Sparta running around, things could get interesting. Those Eastern Cataphracts did some pretty good damage to the Sabaean Camel Cataphracts. They are still alive and charging, but they are getting mowed down on their attempt to make it into the skirmish line. So still a lot of skirmishers here for Sparta. The Roman bodyguard goes full YOLO into the longbow hunters. I don't know how long it's going to last in this type of fight. It's being chased by a Woden spear, and then Parthia YOLOing some cavalry back here as well. And the Roman infantry actually chasing around camel lancers. I would think the Perioikoi spears might want to do that, and then that Roman infantry needs to come over here and assist, because the Roman infantry on this flank has not done as well. Sparta is helping to hold. The Spartan commander, though, is paying for it with his life. A lot of Royal Camel Archers. These units don't have a ton of armor. They're not amazing in melee, but they can certainly get rid of skirmishers, and that is what they are attempting to do here. And they're going to be intercepted. Not before they get some damage done, though, and then a Camel Lancer gets in here, too. So a lot of damage about to happen to Sparta's skirmishers. That's really bad for Sparta. But there's also damage being done to the Germanic skirmishers back here, and the Germanic commander in that Woden spear. This is pretty close, honestly. Like, I feel like this is pretty close. Maybe I'm misreading it. The Romans still have a fair bit of infantry on the field, like this veteran legionary that's going to be very dangerous, and then this Hero of Sparta is also going to be very dangerous late into the game. It's going to really come down to maybe an ammunition thing here late. Who has the ammunition? Is it enough? Will it overcome some of this infantry? Because just from a pure infantry standpoint, we've got a couple of tribal warriors still kicking, and an Oathsworn that's lost about 20 models in a long, drawn-out combat with a Royal Spartan. And that Royal Spartan's showing how tough it is. An Oathsworn is no joke, and you're not going to see any other hoplite put up a fight like that. That super heavy spear infantry really being potent there. Those camel archers still being annoying. And then it looks like at this point some Gallo-Thracian infantry busting through to take on the Perioikoi spears. This one's going to try and get into a square, but it's getting kind of quick charge there. All of the Germanic skirmishers... Oh, that veteran legionary is now singled out. This didn't look so bad a moment ago for the Roman, but now they're completely singled out back here. That Woden spear gets a nice charge, but that veteran legionary just has numbers on its side here, I believe, and should grind out all of these lighter Swaby. I mean, unless something goes south with the leadership, those veteran legionaries should clean that up. That noble horse archer is going to go for that last longbow hunter. I think that's a good call. It's showing slightly in favor of the home team here, which is the yellow and blue banners. That Hero of Sparta has come up here, and it's now actually kind of engaged. It really needed to maybe stay close to these veteran legionaries. I feel like it's overextended here, and the Hero of Sparta is now in a bad position. It really needs to run back to the support of its other units here. It's still pushing forward, though. I think this is a mistake to push forward. If it has the support of these veteran legionaries, I think it could be pretty dangerous. Because you've got 36 Gallo-Thracians, 22 Thracians, 29 Tribals, 92 Oathsworn. Yeah, this unit is way ahead of itself. It needs some help from these noble horse archers to push back the camel archers. Another big problem here is they can't let this Oathsworn get charges. If it does, ooh, that was a nice idea there with those last few Thracians to get some of those Heroes of Sparta killed on a charge. Those camel archers are a big pain in the butt right now for Parthia. The Heroes of Sparta now charging into a tribal warrior. Again, they're going to take a little bit of damage, but don't discredit Heroes of Sparta on the charge. They got 33 charge, and they've got a lot of melee attack. They're going to be tough. They've also got a lot of armor. That Hero of Sparta is going to get hurt really bad on the charge, but it needs to combine with the veteran legionary against the Oathsworn. It has to combine. I would almost love to see that noble horse archer break the Oathsworn's charge. And it does not look like that's... Yeah, okay, it's not going to happen here, but I would love to see that veteran horse archer break the charge of the Oathsworn or hold it in position while the heroes of Sparta engage, and that is what we're going to see here. We'll see whether that becomes the right decision. But the veteran legionary needs to be involved in this as well, and let the noble horse archer hold off the camels, because the hero of Sparta alone, even with the broken charge, is not going to be able to finish off an Oathsworn. And boy, that noble horse archer ended up paying a dear price for that charge. Yeah, the Romans need to get over here into this infantry fight, post-haste. Yeah, and the Parthian horses just need to keep the camels off the back of the infantry at this point. It's still going to be a tough fight. I feel like if the veteran legionary combines over here, though, they should be able to defeat the Oathsworn. But again, I'd hate to underestimate the Oathsworn because they are a very tough unit. A little bit of a flanking overture here from the Gallo-Thracian infantry. It could pay dividends, potentially. Yeah, see, now the Romans are pulling off at the Gallo-Thracians. That hero of Sparta needs support. That Oathsworn is getting a really clean victory right now. It's going to be a rear charge here from the Parthian noble horse archers, but then they're going to get sandwiched by the royal camels. And that Oathsworn is now winning so big that the royal Spartans are starting to waver, and then now complete surround here. And that is going to take a toll on the leadership of the red team and finish this battle earlier than they needed it to. So a very close finish here. Very close finish. So, well played by both teams. Sol and Vordi here, Jawalin, Arash, G-Rum, and Char. Well played to all of you. This was a close one, man. It had me wondering to the very end there who was going to win. Nice work with those Royal Camel Archers by Sol to the end. Got a lot of damage done with them. And then the infantry here for Tylus really did a pretty impressive job in the face of some very tough infantry from Rome, and then combined with a couple of very competent infantry units from Sparta. Epic skirmish between both factions. I don't know if either faction really pulled a decisive victory in the skirmish. It really came down to both of them losing their skirmishers ultimately in a melee later on, but still, really nice job skirmishing. So the Spartan player and the Suebi player here are the ones in charge of the skirmish, and well done to them. And then the Roman infantry, some of the legionaries didn't quite perform at the level that they needed to. The veteran legionary did get a number of kills. These other legionaries needed to do a bit more, but a good performance from one of the Hastati here. And then Parthia, from a cavalry standpoint, I think did a pretty solid job overall. They were outnumbered on the side of the Sabaeans. I say outnumbered, they weren't outnumbered. It was different classes of cavalry, I should say, here. So it really just kind of had more to do with the class of cavalry. But well done to both. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I will see you all soon with some more action in Total War Rome 2.